Alright guys, just gonna get going here. Alright. So, I'm gonna do some testing here. I have the Faderport hooked up and got a camera on it. This thing looks great. We have a real nice looking shot here. I've been doing some, testing with this. It's been really, really great to use, and just all the layers is the kind of tricky part, but it's been so nice to have. So, yeah, I'm just kind of hanging out, doing some mixing from the previous live stream. And also just kind of giving this Faderport 8 a test with the camera setup that I have. I also have a little bit different shot, kind of a cool shot of the room. And I also refined my talkback mic. So let's see if we got this. Check one. Hey, hey. So yeah, kind of refine that a little bit. I was able to get the radio sound back, but it wasn't the flutter. Like, I don't have that quite yet. It was like a helicopter flutter that was really cool. So anyways, there we go. Okay, so here's kind of where I was. Let's see here. Right, okay. Get my foot pedal. All right, that's pretty slick. Okay, so the foot pedal is hooked in actually through the Faderport 8, and I have that rigged up as a... Oh yeah, here it is. Right here. So it actually gives me an option right there. And then everything else is like stock with this. There is one thing I did change. I did this so that I can, kill the video without having to actually have the keyboard. Right now I have the keyboard off to the side here, and I need to build like a mount. I measured it, and I need like specific, I have the measurements. But I don't have like a piece of wood that just happens to fit perfectly. But what I want to do is just have a kind of a mount like this, I'm actually used to that. Like, that's what I used to do. The eMagic Logic control was so big that it actually could fit a Apple keyboard at the top of it. So, if anything, that's a testament to the Faderport and just how little desk space it takes up. So yeah, let's see how you guys are doing. All right, Robert, first in. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of late. This is not my usual time. So definitely not my usual time. Robert is the first one in. Robert, the first one in. So that deserves a little high five over the talkback mic. I have it going through the maw pedal, which is this one. The maw pedal is by Old Blood Noise Endeavors. It stands for Microphone Audio Workstation, and it just it's an effects pedal for performing singer-songwriters. So. We have two Robs in the chat. Two Robs in the chat. So, yeah. He was looking at the Faderport. Hey, Matt. I like the Faderport a lot, The only thing I'm not quite used to is the shift button, because sometimes it, sometimes it'll let me just, well, let's see here. There we go. Sometimes it'll let me just momentarily hit the shift and then pop back off. And then other times it stays on. So I don't know, exactly how to work it yet. But that gives all these functions like double the functionality. And then if you hold both together, you actually go into MIDI mode, which is just like another kind of mind blower. So yeah, it's a lot to take in, and I've experimented with different plugins to see what works the best. And oh man, it's 5 a.m. there. Well, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, so Rob, I was actually just getting to this. I was pulling up different plugins to see which ones actually work really well, and yeah, I'll show you in a second here. Some of the channel strips are just really complex; they don't really work so well. The Empirical Lab stuff actually works really well. Specifically the Arouser and the Big Freak. It's not that you can access everything easily, but that the way that the faders kind of work, you don't have parameters moving all around on you, like when you page over, like it kind of stays the same, where it's like this fader is always going to be a gain, this fader is always going to be a Q, this fader is always going to be a frequency. And you can go through every like odd band on that EQ, and the faders stay the same. They don't jump around, so you don't have to read the labels. So I think that's really cool. And then for the Arouser, it literally has input-output, attack release ratio. So you literally can dial in an entire sound within one view on the Faderport 8. So yeah. Okay, so let's go to the DAW. So this is kind of what we were doing yesterday, if you were here. If not, no worries. I have the video pulled up and synced, and kind of tucked that down below here. And what this allows me to do is pull up the video mode. I have it synced up. And yeah, it's a really cool way for me to kind of do a visual right on the fly. So it's a fun track. I kind of mixed a lot of it yesterday. It's kind of a weird mix. Like, I'll be honest, it's not my best work, but yeah, let's check it out.
There's no change in Montana. She's a woman, knows her need. You better give her what she wants. She never begs and pleads. Yeah, women come and women go. That's what makes this world go round. If you ever see Montana, boy, you better turn yourself around. No, you won't forget Montana once the sight's been seen. You see, our eyes are made of diamonds and our hearts are made of dreams. Yeah, women come and women go, so it makes this world go round. If you fall down for Montana, boy, you'll never live it down. She run you dry, so dry. She run you dry, so dry. Don't even try, so dry. Don't even try, so dry. She run you she is slyer than a cat. She'll make you buy her flowers. She'll run off with your cash. Yeah, women.
So yeah, that's pretty much the track, you know. So yeah, so somebody asked about plugins, and let's see here. Let me do it on guitar here. I think that'd be a good example. Just kind of show you how it works. Okay, so it sounds like he's got a fair bit of compression, you know, before the amp. Quite a lot, actually. But, you know, we'll still work with that. I mean, I think it's not really about the sound at this point. It's more about the hands-on example of how it works. So, okay, so if you're on the view for all the audio, then all you have to do is hit select, and then edit plugins, and then arouser, and yeah, there you go. You got input, and output, and then attack and release. Okay. And then you have ratio. Every time I say ratio, I almost wonder if I'm saying Horatio. Where is Horatio? Horatio Hernandez. Or Horatio from that cop show in Miami. What was that show called? Attack modification, saturation, and cutoff. Like, that's all the, like, really necessary things that you would need, you know? But the big thing is, like, I can go, you know, very quickly. I could do 4 things, 5 things at once. Well, really 4 things at once, probably. So yeah, let me just kind of play the sound, and notice that this is still active, right? So you can do in the context soloed and the context soloed. It'd help if the Horatio was at least not 1-to-1. Let's do 4-to-1, I guess. Oh, and these buttons do something too. So the top row, you probably can't read it, but this top row, there's 2 rows, and then there's like that bar of white with black lettering. So the top row of white lettering says saturation bypass. So, you know, that's what that does. Attack bypass. Ratio bypass? I didn't even know that it could do that. Okay, well. Detector select? To be honest, I can't even tell what it's doing. There's like no change. Next button. Next button. Oh, wow. Next button. And blend. Okay, so, and if we run out of stuff, we can bank over. I think we just, it's been a minute since I've done this, but I think we hit bank. We get to mix, bandwidth, frequency, boost, cut, dry trim, second harmonic, which is actually under the expert panel here. So, but all the essential things are on the first page, which I really like. And, you know, that's just fantastic, I think. So,
Well, she's meaner than the police, and she is slyer than a cat. She'll make you buy her flowers, she'll run off with your cash. Yeah, women come and women go, that's what how we will always be. If I ever see my tenor boy, you know I bet.
and of course, you know, I can solo, I could take it out, and then I could balance the level using that output, which is pretty slick. So that is a dream. Like, this is so far the best plugin. Let's see, go back to track. There we go. They're not all like that. And of course, like, you know, the native DAW stuff, the native stock plugins, it would work just fine. But to be honest, like, I haven't run into a problem where I can't like get to an element of a plugin. So they're all mapped out. I mean, maybe the PreSonus stock stuff is a little more thought out, but I mean, to be honest, like, I almost don't think so. It's just, it's all there. You just have to bank over. Like, let's take, okay, this one.
There go back to me.
Okay, so, you know, right there we have it ready to go. And we have 4 pages of settings, which is a lot, you know, it's a channel strip. But we have the input gain, okay. We have the, okay, we have the, that is the, like the noise floor, phase flip, mute, power for the whole plugin. Oh, the ABCD setting, which is up here. That's kind of slick. Yeah, high pass. So, you know, if you use the same plugin a lot, you could kind of know where stuff is and be like, oh yeah, first page, second fader is my whatever. Let's see here. Low frequency. So LC mix, LC high pass. What does that even mean? Oh, okay. It's the compression mix. Attack, ratio. Gotcha. But where's threshold? Like, where did threshold go? You see, this is the kind of thing that's like, Oh, wait a second, that's threshold. That's release. Oh, wait, okay, it is all here. Okay, I got the 3. Okay. So yeah, it's a little bit disorienting at first, but if you just know, like, that's not gonna move, right? It'll always be the second page, these 3 faders, right? Then I can go back to other settings, go back to the second page, these 3 faders, you know? So it's really not too bad. But you kind of have to learn each plugin as far as where stuff is. Then I can pop back out. I can go back to the arouser. Boom. I'm right back here. You know. And there we go. Pop back out. Go to the channel strip. second page, these 3 faders, boom, you know? Um, you know, the grassroots plugins like the Air Windows didn't come up at all. So I don't exactly understand, like, you know, what would be missing there, but you know, that's okay. Split EQ doesn't come up at all. Oh, so Analog Obsession, it looks like they actually do come up. So you have input, but does it work? Am I on the right thing? Wait. Oh, there we go. Okay, you have to turn on the plugin. Okay. So assuming the plugin's on, okay, it's ready to go. And yeah, you have input, output. That's actually really handy right there. Yeah, that's mapped out really nicely. And then mix, that's awesome. And there's literally like, you know, stuff that you probably don't even need on the second page. So that's actually really nice. So yeah, you just gotta figure out like the stuff that you like. So yeah, that for me was a big benefit because what's great is that you can, you know, not even look at stuff, right? You can just have it full page mixer, you know, and just literally be using your ears. You're not thinking of the timeline of it playing through. You're not thinking of the mouse. You know, you literally can be, you know, just using your hands and mix into some music. So yeah, that's a little bit on kind of some plugins and how it works using that. Yeah, I mean the mouse is handy to have, but I don't know. I mean, yeah, the mouse is handy to have still. I mean, there's things that are kind of hard to like, okay, how do I do that? And, you know, I'll say this. If you really want to learn a tool, put your old tool away because then you're forced to learn. So that's kind of what I did is you know, put the mouse away to where I couldn't reach it, and then I had to use, you know, the Faderport. Guys, is the video skipping at all? Like, just let me know because I'm not sure. Not sure if it is or not. So. Okay, cool. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting this warning by YouTube saying that the stream is higher than the recommended bit rate, but okay, cool. Yeah, my little playback window was like way behind, so I'm like, what is going on? Like it's like really, really far behind. Okay. Well, it seems to be okay, even though it's giving me a warning. So, cool. Okay.
She'll run you dry. Don't even. This is full of venom, and the touch will make it bleed. Yeah, women come and women go. That's how it will always be.
So all this is my buses here. That's actually the most useful view once you have everything organized, because then you can kind of run the whole track.
But if I ever see Montana again, you know I beg her back to me. She run, you try. Don't try. She run, you try. Don't try. Don't even try. Don't try. Don't even try. Don't try. She run, you try. Don't try. She run, you try. Don't try. Don't even try. Don't try. Don't even. Way-o.
Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, it's a little confusing with this shift sometimes. I'm still getting used to it. I still gotta do the thing where I hide the mouse and like really work on just flying blind. And really just, it kind of reminds me of like the like the old hardware, like drum machines, when you had to sequence using that thing, right? And I mean, you were like staring at like a little tiny screen all day that had only a max of like, I don't know, 50 characters from left to right, and you had to go through all the menus and stuff and read the manual. And I forget what the thing was even called. It wasn't one of the super cool drum machines, but it was like probably early 90s drum machine. And, it was all about what was in front of you, and it's just a different experience rather than like looking forward on a screen. You just focus on whatever's here. And if you want to like march it back, a little bit, you can, you can go back, you can go forward, you can go to different markers. The RTZ return to 0. That just kicks it off at the top. Or I can fast forward. Go for a little bit more.
Women go. That's what makes this world go round.
I could check for sibilance.
Never begs and pleads. Yeah, women come and women go. That's what makes this world go round. She never begs and pleads. Yeah, women come and women go. That's what makes this world go round.
So you can hear like, this makes this world go around. Like, I can just easily just hit the reverse button, and it's intuitive about how long to hold it down. A lot of times I want to like hear like a specific passage to work on an issue, and I use that a lot. The loop is nice. Kind of the coolest thing is that I could just kind of show you the overall view here of the studio. Is like, I could be on some different application, right? And I can still be controlling the DAW.
If you ever see my
I can still be mixing, even though the DAW isn't even present.
tenor boy, you better turn yourself around.
You really just don't even miss having it on the screen. And it's nice if we're doing like the not the software monitoring, but like the interface monitoring for headphones, and you're making adjustments, and you're kind of doing that and running the DAW, as you can easily be kicking off record and making headphone adjustments, all at the same time, because it's always here at your fingertips, which is nice. So, okay. So how you guys doing? No, it wasn't an Alesis. It was, I don't even know what it was. I've tried to actually figure it out and like went looking for like random pictures of drum machines, and I couldn't figure it out, but Yeah. What control surface is it, Chaz? Mm, the Slate touchscreen is that, it's a big screen. I mean, when I was hanging out, yeah, the Icon Pro G2, I want to say I know what that is. I think my friend Garrett has that. I was hanging out doing like course videos with Mixer Man, like he'd use the mouse, it was almost just kind of like a big screen that was like really close to you, and I don't know, like I think he just didn't feel comfortable with the gestures or something. Like I know the trackpad, like every time I go to like a friend's computer, the trackpad, I'm just like, dude, just get me a mouse. This is ridiculous. Like I can't do this. So it could have been one of those kind of things, but yeah. So I don't know. I mean, you just got to try it out and see what works. I'm used to something like this. If I don't want to use it at the moment, I can just like unplug it and move it. I can scoot it. I can put my keyboard here. I'm kind of used to being able to do that kind of thing. So in some level, I kind of like just keeping it, somewhat, somewhat small, right? Like it's only, it's not that big. So, yeah, I mean, it's, gosh, like a rack is like definitely bigger. So, know if I can have a mouse right here to the right. Okay. So, anything else you want me guys to you want me to do? Any questions or suggestions even? I just kind of jumped on here because I'm like, if I don't know. I really wanted to do a stream all day, and for whatever reason, it wasn't happening. And I don't know, like this happened so late, it was almost pathetic, but it's like if I don't do a stream, even if it's absolutely terrible, at least I did one, right? So you got to show up. So yeah. And then the foot pedal, which is great. I mean, I'm always like trying to move the console or the mixer to see what I'm doing. No hands. Mixer, no mixer. Mixer, no mixer. It's great. So okay, I'll just goof off with this track for a few minutes.
No, you won't forget Montana once the sight's been seen. You see, our eyes are made of diamonds and all these are made of dreams. Yeah, women come and women go, so it makes this world go round. If you fall down for Montana, boy, you'll never live it down. She run you dry, she run you dry. She's meaner than the police, and she is slyer than a cat. She'll make you buy her flowers, she'll run off with your cash. Yeah, women come and women go, that's what we will always be. If I ever see Montana,
Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I was trying to find what was going on, and I think that I'm just not. Yeah, this is called 10 dash main Vox Billy. I was looking for Vox, so that's kind of what was going on. Hope if I was out of the buses as well. But yeah, so I banked over looking for the main vocal, hit select, and then edit plugins. And then select the one that you want to do. Okay, so this one doesn't come up, I guess. Let's see here. Okay. That one comes up. This one doesn't. And this one does. Okay, cool. So we have the line amp. That's weird. It started on page 2. Okay, so we have mic pre. Okay, yeah. So for whatever reason, the EQ didn't want to work. But I'll show you though on the empirical that actually works out quite nice. So we have starting on page 2. We have the gain for red, and then we have frequency, slope, and Q. And then you page over. So what? These 4, right? And you page over. Same thing. Page over. Same thing. So it's really nice that it works out like that, because then you can just very quickly. It's, I'm not exactly used to that, but you know, so yeah, you could do it definitely without a mouse. Would it be easier just to grab it with your mouse? Probably, but for like a 1176 compressor, the arouser, it's really nice to take up the input, take down the output at the same time. Like you just can't do that with the mouse. So that's a huge advantage for something like that.
Don't even try. It's lighter than a cake. She'll make you buy her flowers. She'll run off with your cash. Yeah, women come and women go. It's what how we will always be. If I ever see Montana, boy, you know I better go back to me. She run you dry. She run you dry. Don't even try. Don't even try. She run you dry. She run you dry. Don't even try. Don't even try. Women go, so that we will always be. If I ever see Montana, boy, you know I better go back to me. She run you dry. She run you dry. Don't even try. Don't even try. She run you dry. She run you dry. Don't even try. Don't even.
That's pretty interesting. Not that it's doing it on this one, but when I went over to the Dragonfly reverb and I made a simple adjustment, it was tracking with me, which is pretty cool. Let me find something. Okay, so that knob high cut. Let's see if it'll jump to page 2 on me here. No. Okay. So it doesn't switch, pages on me. But if I access something in the first thing on the first page, it'll actually like show it with me. So yeah, so if I'm on the page, it'll show it. Okay.
Even try. She run, there go back to me. She run, you try. She run, you try. Don't even try. Don't even try. She run, you try. She run, you try. Don't even try. Don't even try. Don't even try. She run, you try. She even
So I'm just kind of pulling your attention to this here. It's nice to be able to visually look for the meters. You can turn that off though, but I think you just hit it. You just like do a double hit. Hmm. Okay, maybe I have to read the manual. I don't know how to get it back, but it was there. Hello? Hello? Is it just me, or like sometimes you think that like stuff is like trying to be a smartass with you? It's like, yeah, I know what you want, but I'm not gonna do it for you. See, it does it there on the tracks, and then oh wait, that is it, because that is the effects, right?
Don't say I didn't want it. Don't come crying to me. You see, your kiss is full of venom, and the touch will make it bleed. Yeah, women come and women go. That's how it will always be. But if I ever see Montana again, you know I'll beg her back to me. She run, you try. She run, you try. Don't even try. Don't even try. She run, you try. She run, you try. Don't even try. Don't even. Well.
Yeah, whatever. Um, yeah. So that's pretty cool. Like the more I use it, uh, the more fun it becomes. You know, this thing actually can be hard programmed to just always be one thing. You know, just no matter what happens, it's always your vocal reverb or whatever. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, what do you guys think? How's the chat doing? Is there a bunch of firewood stacked up by the drummer? Oh, the diffuser? Oh, thanks, Robert. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's like I said, it's like that old drum machine where you know what you want to get to, and it's in some menu that you got to hit like a certain button 3 times. So, like, let's say you want to change the pitch of the snare, and so you know that you got to hit the button, boom, 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 and then you hit the next button over 2 times, and then you can go to the knob and turn it, and that's kind of like that. It's or like the O1V. If you guys have ever used like an O1V mixer, or even like the Behringer X something series, you kind of know like the steps, and like, oh, I got to hit this twice to get to what I'm thinking I need to adjust. So yeah, I think it's pretty sweet. Yeah. So hey, CJ, how you doing, man? I wanted to use the soft tube, and one of my students who I was coaching, I asked him once in one of our Zoom meetings, and he was like, "Yeah, it's great, but it's kind of limited." So I was like, "Well, okay, and you know, I don't know. I just wanted something to work with the DAW that I've been using for the past couple of years, so just kind of kept it all the same brand." Um, I asked around. I asked Chris Salim over at Mixdown Online, which is like kind of a Cubase channel on YouTube, and he said he loves it. So I was like, cool. You like it, you use it. I'll give it a shot, and yeah, it's been great. The only thing that I thought was weird at first was no master fader, right? Because you have 8. So how do like, what if you want to do the master fader? Well, you can go to your buses, and that gets me my pre-master fader here, but you can also just hit master, and then this is your master fader right here. So it's really not that big of a deal. And to be honest, I never really adjust the master fader. It's like one of those things that you think should be there, but I don't know. Does it really need to be there? Because I'm not really trimming down volume. I mean, if I need to trim down volume, that means I gotta gain stage a little bit better. So let me see how that gain staging is working out, because that is kind of a good topic to maybe hit on real quick.
You fall down for Montana, boy, you never live it down. She run you dry, so dry. She run you dry, so dry. Don't even try, so dry. Don't even try, so dry. She run you dry.
So, there's everything is about -12 to -6, and it's only until the last stage, like right in here, where I add another 4.5 dB. No idea why this is here. And then I have a limiter. And that's just so that I don't clip for the video. But I really try to do a slight bump up in gain right at the very last stage, because I want to work at a level that's safe. And if I do kind of chase my tail and go up with the kick, then up with this, and up with this, and up with this, and everything's kind of chasing up to a louder mix, basically, at least it gives me some breathing room. But the key is that you naturally add a little bit of gain when you compress. That's kind of the mentality. So you compress, you add a touch of gain. And you have tracks that are not very loud. like here's an example. Here is the vocal track. And make sure nothing is okay, so nothing is on. Yeah. Okay. This has no boost on it, right? No makeup gain. Okay. So here is my unity gain. Here is the vocal according to the track volume.
Eyes are made of diamonds and all these are made of dreams. Yeah, women come and women go. It's what makes this world go around. If you fall down from Montana.
And then I've added this, which adds a little bit of saturation.
And a boy, you'll never live it down. She run you dry. She run you dry. Don't even try.
Add a little bit of a mid boost there. And then, let's see here. I think I used these. You know, I experiment a lot with stuff, so it just stuff gets left in.
Don't even try. She run you dry. She run you dry. Don't even try. Don't even try.
I wonder why it's so different. What the heck did I do to this?
And a boy, you'll never live it down. She run you dry. She run you dry. Don't even try. Don't even try. She run you dry. She run you dry. Don't even try. Don't even try.
Okay, so
Seen, you see, our eyes are made of.
that's kind of an example. Okay, now it's not gonna be like a nice before and after, obviously. Like if you want to compare these, it's not gonna work, right? And the dry wet, it's not gonna work either. But I mean, to be honest, like I'm so used to having the compressor add that gain that slowly pushes up everything, right? So I push it up a few dB. So here's without.
Diamonds and all these are made of.
Here's with.
Dreams. Yeah, women come and women go. So
You know, and eventually the mix gets loud, right?
makes this world go around. If you fall down from Montana, boy, you'll never live it down. She run you dry. Go dry. She run you dry. Go dry. Don't even try. Go dry. Don't even try. Go dry. She run you dry. Go dry. She run you dry. Go dry. Don't even.
So yeah, I always start small and then throttle it up just little by little. Sometimes I'll add some compression, you know, at this point, or like drum, bus compression. I'm actually not adding any there. So I give advice and then I open it up to find that I've done none of my own advice. No boost there, of course. Barely a boost there. I didn't do any in the snare. So I can't even back my own advice up here. But let's see. Did I do it on the bass? No. I actually decreased the volume a little bit.
Well, she's meaner than the police, and she is slyer than a cat. She'll make you buy her flowers, she'll run off with your cash. Yeah, women come and women go. It's what how we will always be.
And it's really easy to let this starting to get slammed. Like, that's why I didn't use bus compression for the longest time, is I was kind of worried about that. And yeah, like, yeah, it definitely can happen. But I think that as you mix more and more, it becomes less of an issue where it's covering up what you're trying to hear with like your kick compression settings, you know? Like, this is gonna compress the kick, even if you didn't compress the kick, right? But I found that, like, it doesn't really bother me so much. It just becomes the lens that you're making decisions through.
Society's been seen. You see, our eyes are made of diamonds, and all these are made of dreams. Yeah, women come and women go. So it makes this world go round. If you fall down from Montana, boy, you'll never live it down. She run you dry. Go dry. She run you dry. Go dry. Don't even try. Go dry. Don't even try. Go dry. She run you dry. Go dry. She run you dry. Go dry. Don't even try. Don't even try. Well, she's meaner than the police, and she is slyer than a cat. She'll make you buy her flowers. She'll run off with your cash.
So, you know, this kick has been giving me problems the whole mix because it's almost like it's not loud enough. And so it's the kind of thing where it's like, okay, you know, I can't really go any louder, so, you know, I'll take the other stuff down a little bit. But it's also that it could just be the wrong thing, right? Does it need EQ? Maybe, but could we solve it a different way, you know? Like, okay, let's get out of free plugin territory for a sec. You know, we can go a slow attack, right? And that'd be the same thing as adding high end.
Yeah, women come and women go. That's what that we will always be. If I ever see Montana, boy, you know I'll never go back to me. She run you dry. Don't even try. Don't even Don't even try. Go dry. She run you dry. Go dry. Don't even try. Go dry. Don't even try.
Yeah. So I think that it's definitely in the front at this point. It's not like blow your face off in the front, but I definitely think it's better. And we could do that with multiple other plugins. Here, you know, it's way slower than a typical FET, you know, 1176, but that's kind of what it needed. So how you guys doing? Check, check. Anybody out there? Hello? Okay. Well, if you guys don't have any questions, and I know you guys are just kind of chilling with me, I'll just keep kind of doing my thing here.
She'll run off with your cash. Yeah, women come and women go. That's what that we will always be. If I ever see Montana, boy, you know I better go back to me. She'll run you dry. Go dry. She'll run you dry. Go dry. Don't even try. Go dry. Don't even try. Go dry. She'll run you dry. Go dry. She'll run you dry. Go dry. Don't even try.
What's cool about this, and I forgot to mention this, is the outs. So I actually could control and fine tune what's going to the outboard and what's coming back in, which is really nice. And this might also do the let's see here.
Don't even try.
Okay, yeah, sorry I had to burp there. So I played the music so it would mute my mic. But um yeah, so it'll do anything that you have set for the outputs. These are not labeled, but I could be literally the outputs going to the HD audio movers stream, for example, and I could feather trim the output, you know? Same thing with inputs. Um, the VI was virtual instrument. Yeah. And then VCA, I should probably learn how to use VCA. That would be cool, actually. One, well, let's see here. No, that's the one thing I don't know how to do is the shift command to do that. There we go. So create a VCA. Yeah, cool. I mean, not that I necessarily need to do that. I mean, I have everything bust, but another way to do control stuff. Let's see here. Yeah, yeah, cool. Okay, so everything from Chaz updating his arouser plugin to reamping tricks. Okay, so yeah, Timothy Burr is asking, what was the biggest troubleshooting that you've had to do in the past couple of months? And your reamp stereo trick is pretty Galaxy Brain 12 out of 10. And have you used that reamp trick since you've made the video? Um, I haven't used it actually. I mean, well, okay. I tried it on a clean PA speaker with a clean amp. And I tried like something really simple and it didn't really work. So I think that the overdrive is what made that work. Um but I haven't really used it yet, but I will for sure. As far as the troubleshooting goes, Yeah, so this is a weird one, and it's kind of hard to see unless you don't know what's going on. But the output of the output of a microphone was distorting, and I didn't know why it was distorting. And it was just the strangest thing. It wasn't really that loud of a source. I think I was even distorting on my voice. I tested out this thing and it was like distorting, and I'm like, wow, that's got a lot of crunch to it already. How's it gonna go on drums, right? Well, then I got to drums and it was fine. It's like, well, why did that have so much crunch earlier? And then the crunch came back, and I'm like, why is it that certain things are having crunch? Like I'm overdriving all of a sudden. Well, I figured out that the microphone output was getting split, and its split was going to another piece of gear that was off. And when the gear is off, it basically is like, for whatever reason, just draining the load, and there's like no impedance. And it's, I don't know, it's like maybe super low impedance to where the preamp starts to work super hard and it distorts. And as soon as I reach back and just hit on the power strip and turned on the mixer behind me, all of a sudden that preamp that was going to the mixer and my interface, all of a sudden it cleaned right up. But it was like, why are certain mics distorting? And it was in a broadcast that I did, a stream that I did. It was in a couple other things. And I finally figured out that it was just a piece of gear was off. And if it wasn't on, and it was like in a split like that, it would start distorting. And I've had that happen with like a little Zoom recorder. It can happen with other pieces of gear around the studio. So that's just something to consider. If you split the output of gear to go to like an interface and a mixer or whatever, consider your startup method. Did you turn everything on? Because if something is off, then it's not really behaving how it is designed to behave. So that was a weird troubleshooting thing that I figured out. And that was only a couple days ago. So you would think that I know how to solve issues that literally the solution is just the device is off. And that was the issue, right? But that was a problem. I just had to turn it on. And then all of a sudden, the split wasn't distorting. So okay, well, I'm gonna cut out, guys. But this was cool. This kind of informal. I didn't really really have much to show you. I just kind of got this camera set up for the interface. You can see it right up here. It's this guy. And so yeah, I got that set up. This is kind of the main camera that I talked to right here. Yeah, so you can see it right there. So yeah, this is really nice. The only problem is that I use this camera for photos, so I kind of need this camera. If it's hanging on a stand, it's not even on a quick mount, like a quick release mount. So I don't know. I'll have to, I guess, buy another one. Buy a whole like tripod head and a quick release mount. That's kind of what it entails, But yeah. So I'm gonna just play this out through the trumpet solo, fade to black, and I'll see you next time.